Good afternoon and welcome to Williams Stadium for today's press conference introducing Turner Gill as the new head football coach here at Liberty University. Before we get started, I'd like to send a special welcome to Turner's family, his wife Gail and his two daughters Jordan and Margot. Welcome. Couple of order of business today. Before we get going, we're going to hear from Chancellor Falwell, and then once he addresses our crowd, we'll hear from Coach Gill, and then we'll have a media Q&A with Turner at the podium. And when that is through, we will have a more extended media session over to our left. And for those of you that would like to stay, Turner will be available for about a 10-minute window to meet and greet those of you here in attendance. But again, we welcome everybody, and there will be a boom mic for the media with Paul and Joe Carmody. And so just make sure the microphone is next to you as this is being broadcasted live on libertyflames.com and the Big South Network. With that being said, I'd like to turn things over to Chancellor Jerry Falwell, Jr.
Thank you, Alan. This is an exciting and historic day for Liberty University. Since Danny Rocco left, we've spoken with many potential head coach candidates, and I informed the Big South Conference presidents yesterday that we greatly value our membership in the Big South Conference, but given the unexpected turn of events, we believe the time is right for Liberty to conduct the FBS feasibility study that's so important for our program to move to the level where it was originally envisioned it would go. Yesterday when we were taking Coach Gill around on a tour, I think Bill Gillespie said it better than anybody else. He said that my father told him one time that Liberty's goal was to train champions for Christ, to go into every profession, doctors, lawyers, but that he saw football as a way to, athletics, but primarily football, as a way to make the world aware of that mission and to make it happen. He believed football, like nothing else, could really shine a light on our vision and our mission. And so that's why one of the reasons why we're so excited about what's happening here today. But a lot of people ask, why do a feasibility study? Why not just move on up to the FBS? We're now in the FCS championship series. The goal is to move to the football bowl subdivision, but Bill Carr, who's our consultant here, has been such a great help to us, and he helped us understand the process, how important it was to do the feasibility study, to not go into it blindly, to make sure that we know what the costs will be, we know what the Title IX ramifications will be, we know what all the facilities requirements and personnel requirements. And also at the end of that study, we need to communicate that to the rest of the conferences, to the rest of the teams and just the football world, the athletic world, so that others can see how far we've come. This building right here is a pretty good indication of what our goals are. And so we just are going through that study now, should be finished in February or March. At that time, we'll go ahead and begin to make our pitch to conferences and to other conferences, to FBS conferences. It's not something you can just do. You have to be invited. And I explained on Andrew and Claudio's show the other day, it's like a spouse. When you're looking for a spouse, you have to make yourself as attractive as possible, and that's what we're trying to do to with these other conferences. So that was the special announcement that I wanted to make. And also, I wanted to mention that it's been a fun process the last couple of weeks. I told Jeff when he came in my office a few weeks ago that I really believe that Liberty had reached a point with our facilities, with our academics, with our resources, and the fact that we have a top-notch athletic director, that I didn't see any reason why we couldn't attract the best Christian coach in the country. And we didn't think we'd have that opportunity to do that search as soon as we did, but as soon as we found out that Coach Rocco was leaving, I suggested that we hire Carr Sports Associates, and it's just incredible to me the job that Jeff and Bill and Neil did in such a short amount of time, because I really believe that Turner Gill is the perfect fit for Liberty. His Christian faith is exactly what a new recruit would expect to see at Liberty University, and his background, his experience is at the level where we want to go. And I said in the press release, I think that Liberty and Turner Gill were made for each other. And so without further delay, I want to introduce our new head coach, Turner Gill.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I got to, first of all, first and foremost, I am both honored and grateful to be able to coach and mentor young men at a university which supports Jesus Christ as a personal Lord and Savior. Amen to that. I am thrilled to help fulfill Dr. Jerry Falwell's vision of advancing Christ-centered university to excellence in this football program as well as all the athletic programs. I'd like to also thank Chancellor Jerry Falwell, Jr., Athletic Director Jeff Barber for allowing me this opportunity. I would also like to thank Neil Askew, Mickey Garudi, and Bill Carr for their involvement in this process. I have been impressed with the leadership at this university and their commitment to the future of this program. They are not content with the status quo or anywhere on this campus. As I toured the campus and the football facilities, it was hard not to be awestruck with all of the construction I saw. Liberty is committed to bringing excellence to whatever they do. The facilities they have built and are in process of building are world class. I can't wait to show all the recruits, because it is about some recruiting and getting great student athletes here. It will be our mission to this program to build championships through Christ by preparing young men academically, athletically, and spiritually. It is a great time to be a Liberty Flame, and it is time to leap forward to have an unparalleled future. Let's open it up to some questions.
Coach Andrew Claudio from 90.9. First of all, welcome to Lynchburg. Welcome to the university. What about this position made it so attractive that you decided to come here?
Well, I think these two people right here, I have to start there. There's no question about it. As I went through the process of trying to decide, number one, do I want to stay in the coaching this year or sit out, and just prayed about it, asked God, as my wife and our two daughters, we talked about, we just want to have our open mind and open heart. God, wherever you want to send us, we're open and ready to go. And then as we got to talking there, as far as obviously here with Jeff, spent a lot more time with him on the phone and talking about all the things that are happening here. But more importantly, how are we going to be able to connect with each other? It's going to be very, very important, as I told them, the two of us, we're going to be married, so to speak. And so we got to be working well together. And as we continue to talk, there was a true connection. We have the same vision of what needs to get accomplished here at the Liberty University. That's the key. And obviously, I got a chance to spend some time here with Chancellor Falwell here, Jr., as we were talking here yesterday and continue to feel the connection with him. And he is sharp-minded, has a passion for athletics, has a passion for the Lord, just like myself. So these two people right here are really the main two reasons why I decided that this was the best place at this particular time, because it's I hate to say the perfect fit, because nothing's a perfect fit, but it's as close as you can get a perfect fit for myself and my family.
And no committees, right?
No committees. Absolutely. I like that. That was a good phrase he told me. There's no committees. I said, all right, I like that part. Insight on the staff. I'm still putting that all together there. There will be some people from the staff there at University of Kansas. So I want to take my time just a little bit more to get that all right, because that's going to be very, very important. You got to have an outstanding staff. They're all going to be people who are going to love the Lord Jesus Christ. They're going to know how to coach, teach, develop, and prepare young men for the football field of being able to be champions both on and off the field. And we'll get that done. And it's going to be a great opportunity here at Liberty University to get a lot of things happening in a short period of time, so as we move on here in this great university.
I want to congratulate you on accepting that position. And I've been here since day one as a football coach, and I've seen it all come true. Pray for your success, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
About Turner Gill and what you plan to bring to this university?
Well, I think, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I am passionate about doing things the right way, the Christ-like way. That means that we're going to be detailed in everything that we do, academically, recruiting, football play. We will make sure that, I guess just giving an example from a football side of it is, as we talking to some of our offensive linemen, when we say we want 6 inches of your hand on the breastplate, we want it 6 inches on the breastplate. We don't want it 4 inches. So all those kind of things, we're going to be very detailed on those things. Recruiting, we're looking for guys, and on this football team, I want explosive movement. I want guys to be able to be physical. I want to be mentally tough, and we'll put them through that process where they'll have a great situation when they get in a ball game that it's going to be actually less stressful on them in a game than it is in practice. We will be very enthusiastic. We will also have an exciting offense and defense. Start just to touch base on 2 of those phases there. Offensively, we're going to be really a more multiple offense. I do believe in the more of a physical play. I like to be about 55 run, 45 pass. Defensively, we're going to be more of a 4-3 front. We will do some 3-4 schemes as far as we get into the third down, things of that nature. But again, the big thing that we're going to do is we will fly around. We will be exciting for our fans, our student body, and alumni all across this world. Well, we're going to start right here in Virginia. There's a lot of outstanding student athletes right here in the state of Virginia. We make sure we got to do our best to get our share of top-notch recruits. Obviously, we got a few schools around us. We won't name those other schools that are here, but we're going to make sure that we get our share. They're going to start here, and then we're going to work down all across the country. We're going to find the right people that fit at Liberty University and going to be able to do the things both on and off the football field that's going to represent us very, very well. We're also going to go in the state of Texas, go in the state of Florida, go into Georgia. I've done a lot of cross-the-country recruiting everywhere I've been, and I know we're going to have a coaching staff that's going to be able to do some good things to get that accomplished, to get the right players, the right talent, and the right people to give us an opportunity to be champions.
My question is actually, I guess, for the Chancellor and for Jeff Barber as well. You said we're going to make a pitch to go to D1A to the FBS. Is there a particular conference that we're looking to be invited to?
Jeff, I'll let you take that one. Is this on?
Is it on? At this point, as the Chancellor said, the study, we're beginning to study and see what kind of chances we have and what it'll take to go there. At that point, you know what, there are things you can control in life and there are things you can't control. What we cannot control is which conference we have an option to go into. If it is determined that FBS is the way that we do and go, then we have to be invited by someone at that time. And we're going to leave that up to the Lord to open up the right place for us. And at that time, if that should happen, we think we'll be very ready to go.
To what you stepped into when you went to Buffalo, and we would certainly trust you would have the same success here that you had there.
That's
but
the plan.
Is there a parallel in that challenge?
Well, it's a little bit different. When I say that, there has been success here. And so Buffalo, there was not a whole lot of success there as far as in the past, as far as their football program. So I think there's definitely a situation here where there's been success. You can win here. Now they're going to end up, if you're trying to do things in the right way with our players, getting connected with us as coaches. I'm big into building relationships. I think that's how you always have something on a consistent basis, and that's where you'll have success in a long-term basis, and that's what I plan on to do is have things here for a long term, being consistent day after day, month after month, year after year. So there's a little bit of a parallel from just a changeover as far as getting to know us as a staff. But football is football. Coaching is coaching. Teaching is teaching. And developing the guys with the talent they need to have, then I'm able to do that. For me, well, I think it can, you know, as far as us knowing what we're trying to get accomplished. I think the people as student athletes will definitely be excited to see what's going to be happening here in the short term and also in the long term. So I think that can be a plus for us as we move forward, particularly every single month and as we go through the next process here in the next few months and years. 3 goals. I think the first thing is making sure that we connect with our student athletes as a coaching staff. And then the next step I think of is also for us connecting with our fans and alumni, people all across, like I said, the world. Then I think the other thing is for us to continue to develop the things that we need to develop to make sure that everybody understands Liberty University, not only from a football side of it, but I think from an athletic side of all sports. So that's what I would think would be the great thing about it. Again, we got the great athletic director here in Jeff Barber, got a great leader here in our chancellor here, Falwell Jr. I think that's the key, is keeping us together as a family and getting people from an athletic side of it to stay connected. Because you got to respect people and keep connected with them, then they're going to appreciate it a lot more, and they're going to belong with this university and the athletic department, because we're going to need everybody. Obviously, I got to do my part. Everybody else in their areas got to do their part. And when we all do our part, as we all know, as God has said in the scriptures there, everybody has a gift. Everybody has a side where you have to do. Don't do somebody else's job. You do what God has called you to do. And if everybody does that collectively, then we're going to be excellent in everything that we do. Yes.
Coach Gill, who approached who first about this opportunity, and when did you know that this was the job for you?
I guess trying to remember, I'm kind of fogged up because there's so many things that have happened here in the last week. You may help me out here, Jeff. I want to say Bill Carr maybe kind of talked a little bit with my attorney a little bit, and we kind of got the ball rolling there. But to help refresh my memory, I have a lot of things going on in my head here.
I'm sure that this will come up after this in an individual interview, but there were a few people that we identified as a top-tier coaching prospects for us, and Coach Gill was one of those. And on Friday, last Friday, there was a connection between Mr. Carr and his attorney about an interest on our end and an interest on theirs. And I contacted Turner the next day, and it just moved on from there.
Time for one more.
Green Bay fans, that's what clinched it.
That was it.
Yeah.
There you go. Give me some of that, Jerry. Give me some of that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's my Green Bay man.
It sealed it. Yeah. What Liberty is all about. We have to start there. We had pools of candidates that really embraced the mission of this university, which Coach Gill does, and that it has to start right there. Every time we've hired staff, it's always begun with that. So that's what the school is here for. It's for changing champions for Christ. It's for changing the world and offering folks an opportunity to join us in heaven. And, you know, when you have leaders like Coach Gill and Chancellor Falwell and the others that do have that at the forefront, then it certainly gives you an opportunity for this school to become who it's destined to be. And there was no wavering on that, and we're very fortunate to have somebody with his convictions and his testimony.
My question was actually for Coach Gill, but in that same direction. How important is it to you, the personal holiness of your players off the field, and do you feel that that'll affect them on the field as well?
Well, I think we all know as far as trying to do things according to Christ, you got to do that between your relationship with them. I'm a person that's not going to pound it on their heads. We're going to have some things that we do to honor that, but we're also going to teach them the things they need to do in life. So we always talking about relationship. I'm always going to be meeting with our players. I'm really big into that. As I talked about there, you got to be able to connect. You got to be able to do those things. So I'm really big in teaching them how to do the things when they're playing football, while they're playing football, but also preparing them after football, because that's going to be more important as far as what they can do in our society to help us to make this country a better place. As we all know, we're all in a little bit of flux all over right here in our country, and also in sports. And so I'm always trying to teach our student athletes the big picture. Think less of yourself in a way that you can do things for others. And I think if you're able to do that, then that's going to make you also a better football team, because you got to have trust. That's the number one thing that we got to make sure we get across to each other, as coach to coaches, coaches to players, players to coaches. We got to have those type of dynamics going there to make sure that we have a consistent excellence in our football program on and off the football field.
feasibility study, one of the preliminary findings that Bill Carr has already told me is that he's found that Liberty is probably as prepared as any FCS school, or more, was it more prepared or than any other FCS school to make the move up. It's just his initial impression, and I just really believe that once we move to FBS, we'll be the only conservative evangelical Christian school at that level. We'll pick up supporters, Christian supporters that now don't have a team to support because of their faith. I mean, there's no team that matches or school that matches their faith and their beliefs, but we'll be that school, and I really think it'll be like a snowball rolling down a hill. Once we get to that level, it'll be Katie bar the door. So that's just a little end note there. Is that it?
Thank you. Proud to hear to be your football coach. Thank you.
Just another reminder, Coach Gill will be available right now for an extended media session with our print and electronic media, and then after, those of you that wish to stay, got about a 10-minute window for Coach to say hello to you before the afternoon is over. And on your way out, there is more information on the feasibility study with some more information on some sheets of paper if you'd like that as well. Thank you very much.
Let me say one more thing. The players that are in this room, the former players or players, Coach Gill will meet with you up on the 5th floor in the conference room on this end down here, maybe a few minutes before he gets there, but he invites all the players and former players to come up and meet him at that time. Thank you very much.